number 4.
Eto na talaga.
For you guys on the desk. Hey, you guys speeding up.
Eto na.
Snappy games happening right now in Imperial. Come on. Come on. You know what? On the desk, stop talk.
Eto
Start the
na.
game, okay? That's what we want to do.
Terrible. Absolutely terrible.
Ate na Miramar.
On the cats as well.
Ate na Miramar.
No, stop talk. Just game. Just game.
Stop talk, just game. Okay.
Magpepegado Blacklist.
Game
Magpepegado Blacklist.
of the day in Miramar. It's our first Miramar of the
Sugar Mami Manas.
WI Max and that playing path.
Mamaya panagutan na ako ni Maps.
For any teams
Sige,
that
Gas
like
Fury
to go
tayo
towards
na.
the
Mamaya
side,
gano'n ako na. Bahala kayo.
I do think it allows for the most part pretty much all these teams to
Okay,
get
ito na.
their respective
Focus na,
drop
focus,
spots.
focus.
Yeah, the most important thing when you drop
Game
in
natin ang
Miramar
Blacklist.
is
Black Angel sa mga bago. Yung mga karating lang, share natin. Mga di mo follow na.
To get to that spot purely by just no drop location where there are cars, get into it and take one of the high roads and get into that spot. There we go. So I'm not really expecting too much to happen in this game, though one thing I do want to mention,
Walang picado.
that's going to be about BTR.
Sabi ko, ay yung unrubbing sa Blacklist oh. Umi ba sila ng dropping point?
The stats, especially Luxy having a real hard time himself. I think an average survival time, I believe it was of 14 minutes.
Yan yung second option nila eh.
For BTR ratio. Miramar is one, I would say, one of
Yan
their
yung second
best
nila,
maps.
dropping point
I
nila.
think they perform the best on it, and they are really strong when it comes to their rotation. So this could be the one to put them back on the saddle, put them back.
Pero okay na ano kasi yung zone eh.
But it's going to require a lot.
Goods pa rin, goods yung yan. Goods yung feeling, goods yung drop ng Blacklist. Goods yan. Goods yan. Wala silang masyado makakalaban dyan. Hindi sila basta-basta. Tapos pinasukan pa sila na zone. Hindi sila basta-basta madadali yan.
We also know the BTR.
Pwesto ka agad sa crater fields. Umayag ka na lang. Patay kayo dyan. Oy.
Yeah, at a time they can just turn it up.
Maps Fury na ba? Maps Fury, payag ba kayo? Maps Fury.
So to speak. So no doubt that looking at where teams are dropping. Be a little bit of a cluster.
GTR o Puerto.
IA go for a split drop outside the Los Leones.
Puerto.
A1 are already there. The Xavier are going to be on that western
Alayo
side.
nila sa zone.
When I was talking to Crypto and he's saying about dropping Los
Alayo
Leones,
nila sa zone.
it should be okay because it's a very
Pananagutan na. Ay, pananagutan na sabi ni Jubel, oh. Ako, baka panagutan ako ni Maps. Yari kayo, ha.
west to the east to the north, and even if you have 2 or 3 teams dropping there, it should be okay, and it seems like it's the case for them. However, that circle is on towards the northeastern side of the map, so they are going to have a little bit of a trickier time rotating in, depending on the timing. If they rotate in at the same time as A1 or the Xavier, it could be in a little bit of a hassle. One thing I noticed as well is that nobody
Maps Fury.
nobody at all.
Uy,
It's free.
yung ganyan, ha.
ETR typically drop there, and they changed it. So interesting to know what the game plan is for them at least this time. So I want to touch upon what you said of maybe being a little bit hard to move away from Los Leones. I think it's actually relatively easy for them because we see the playing path, and one thing that I think a lot of these teams,
Boss, Maps legit ba? Tanong nyo kay Maps.
are
Tanong nyo kay
the
Maps.
best team of their country. That is straight up facts. That is how things work out. That is why you're at this tournament. That is why you're at this level of play. And they know how to read circles and also playing path when they work together. And you know you can have very easy entry points. Here you're looking at the southern western side of the circle. It's a very easy entry point, so I'm expecting very easy things to come out. Though, this is not going to be an easy fight, as we're going to have GS Gaming taking that assault onto Yala Esports. And Yala being extremely spread away from each other, actually doing a 4-man spread. GS Gaming pushing as a 4-man, there's nothing you can do, and Yala Esports just give away and just, okay, take one player, but we are not fighting this time versus GS Gaming.
And it's also even worse because the top damage player from their team, Ida, is the one that has gone down. So that kind of takes a lot of strength away from their potential coming into later stages of the game. But DS reacting really well, you know, in this game, and it's a pattern we've seen and a trait that we've seen from them in the game so far, right? They
ay, focus muna kayo. Puro kayo Maps Fury dyan, ha. Umami na kayong dalawa, boss. Hindi ako magsasabi si Maps.
Their ability to just make that decision, and that comes down to strong IGLing and good communication to the team with the team, shows that they are more than able to compete with the best across the world.
Oh, very clearly, I think so. So, Durant, okay, just going to jump on over. He's going to be making it out of the range of DS Gaming.
Dalawang player, nakagandang na din.
And that's something that Jason talked about.
Ito na, guys.
Normally when
Ito na, Miramar na.
Korean gaming, especially on FPS, they are really strong.
Atin na yan, guys. Atin na chicken. Tama na ang pagbibigay, sabi ng mga Blacklist.
Very orientated towards strong rotations, like, I mean, 10,000 IQ rotations, you're like, wow, I didn't even think of that. I didn't think it was even possible.
rotation.
And I think that the gunplay was missing, sorry, should I say? Especially when I'm thinking back on the PMGC League stage, we had Archer, right? And I had actually quite a few. I had a lot of issues with Archer back in the day. But the rotations were pretty strong, but how they took fights was very weak. And it seemed like things that they
yung pinaka 3 points lang,
not only just this team, but the entire South Korean ecosystem of PUBG Mobile has improved, and now they are ready to take these fights, and that is definitely something you need when you are taking fights versus the best teams of their own respective countries.
Totally agree with you. Sarah from Reject goes down. Yes.
DSRC.
Kill off. That's 2. Keep them coming, guys. That's what DS are saying. Keep them coming. Come on. Come on. Feed me more. Feed me more. I'll take it all day, every day. Fantastic start for them. Rejects rotation with Scout.
Nakapokus sila sa Blacklist. Nakapokus rin sila sa Maps Fury. Kaya nga eh. Maps, walang aamin, Maps. Kahit anong mangyari, walang aamin.
Which I think is okay. But again, the timing of their disengagement away from the city is going to be incredibly important. DRS dropped in power grid. They moved a little bit more heavily up north now into a centralized position, quite high up, overlooking Craterfields Hill, the hill outside El Pozo, outside of San Martin and Hacienda. DRS are in a fantastic position right now, but they're also looking to even go deeper in by going up onto that hill outside El Pozo.
And every time we talk about DRS and then playing onto this map of Miramar, I think back on PMGC League stage when we had one of the most insane finishes. It was Nepal versus Nepal, Abrupt Slayers versus DRS. And it was one of the most interesting and hyped up matches that I've seen in a long time. And it's great to see that the Nepali region in general seems to be really strong on Miramar. They are some of the best, I would say, on there very clearly when you're looking at the international stage. And DRS just encapsulates that kind of mindset, and their rotations show it, especially in this game, right? You just mentioned.
Aminin mo na bas marom awa tanky boss.
Great recipe for success, and
3 years
hopefully that could now reward
nang hindi nadidiligan.
3
years na ba? Paano alam?
So we'll see if they can get himself a double.
Pag nadiligan niya, magbo-blooming yan.
Maybe Geek
Focus mo na.
Back to back. Dropped in El Pozo. They've gone a little bit up north, more towards the Craterfields Hill. Close to Navi though. Navi dropped in Le Cobre area, and they're going down south. So a lot of teams kind of thinking a little bit similarly in terms of.
Mamaya sa ibang streamer, kino-comment yung pa yung hashtag Maps Fury ha. Kakalat yan.
Only problem about being on the kind of western
side. Alam niyo naman ang community natin, ang lit-lit, pero mandaming ano din sa community natin.
More towards the eastern side of the map and the phase 2.
Dapat boss, tanga na kung naglaro ako dito, kada knockdown ko, pan kagad ang aabutin sa akin. Ako lalaro dyan. Lahat ng mana knockout ko, pan kagad. Para yung nagwawala yung mga caster kakasigaw.
Having a hard time.
Meron yun.
What's going on with Myth?
Just having a hard time? Or okay, do you need to talk about it?
Every time I'm casting with you, I think I'm having a hard time.
Bro, that was just harsh, man.
Hey, bro, you dissed my pancakes earlier, okay? That was not okay. It was completely out.
Gusto ko,
you should be allowed to say against me, so
ayan na.
I love this.
Nakadepende kay Maps.
The team Myth, they tend to really want to play edge, like a little bit too much, I would say, from time to time. This is great. On the circle like this, I think that's great. But now, and especially with the phase 2 like that, maybe you've got to start thinking of trying to actually get into the circle. Maybe not center, but actually get in there. They play in the blue quite a bit, and I think especially on that Sunhawk game we had earlier, it did hurt them a bit. And they actually lost their life. I believe it was versus Blacklist International. So playing edge is fine, and playing in the blue is fine if you want to delay that rotation, but when you have to push into the circle, you can't delay it. The more you delay it, the slimmer the chances are that you're actually going to be
pagka may nagampasa ng pan dyan, magsisisigaw yung mga yan.
The fact that they've got 3 kills in 3 games speaks for itself. Sinister nearly getting called out. Nasser.
Dapat ang mapalaban kagad yung bal eh. Alam mo, hindi makapuntos ng 20 plus ang bal ngayon.
Performances
Pag
so
pumuntos
far.
pa ng 20 plus ang bal, mahirap-hirap na yan.
Representing Jordan. Strong country when they're given the opportunity. Dante playing a forward though.
Bagong love team.
May bagong love team na.
Di pa nga kami umaamin. Alam nyo na kagad ha. Saan nyo ba nakuha yung balita na yan?
So many hearts. Since then, they have been realistically the best team and the biggest representatives of Bangladesh and PUBG Mobile Esports.
Nasar, mukhang may sa tuso na naman. Nga natin kung makakabawi sila dito.
If Dante is still mad about the nade on Sunhawk.
Oh, ikulang pa sila ng
He's
player.
gonna get
Ikulang pa sila
Sinister
ng player.
back at some point, I can tell you, man.
Baka tatatlo sila.
He's gonna get him. But it's a little bit of back and forth, just mostly around information gathering. Sinister was able to heal up back to 75 to 80% HP, so he's gonna be ready to take this fight. And yeah, he's got to be careful. He's got that gun peeking over the hill, so that's something A1 could capitalize on. It's Dante trying to move on down. I think they understand that HMDA is just completely spread, and they are slowly going his way. They have no idea. Sinister instantly bites the bullet. Not going to be able to go for the flush just yet, though. He has to peek on over, and he will put himself at risk of 6-9 from the other side, actually taking himself down. And this, exactly as I said, you should not go for the flush, otherwise you're going to get instantly punished. And Jackson
Nakapalaban na naman.
go for the full-on push. And yeah, that is the flush.
Nako, ay. Bumabawi. Kahit tatatlo.
Keep on against him now as Dante's being locked down inside.
Ang layo ni Hasan, no?
Is going to be
Saan pa bang nagpupunta si Hasan? Ako
for
pala,
that
pinata na
kill.
si Dante.
6-9 happy days and now push in. I don't know if Dante is
Ako,
going to
wala
be able to get
masyadong pangil pala
revived
tong mga
up. I would argue it's not even worth it because he's already in the blue. Phase 2 is closing in. You're not that far away from the edge of the circle. Cut your losses, A1, and continue on as a 3-man team.
Wala pa sa
Don't
zone.
stay there.
Not bad for Dante, man. He's having a rough day. Well, be able to make it back throughout the next 3 days. I am sure about it. Though, moving on forward. Gonna start moving out. Said the blue zone going to be on top of it. It's only phase 2, so we're going to be fine. But you want to try and hold on to those resources. You might have a few standoffs later on down the line, so you want to have as much you can potentially hold on to yourself. As they're going to be moving out. Though, interesting thing, we saw an M249. For all you guys out there that maybe just watch eSport from time to time and maybe don't play the game too much and you just enjoy the eSport side of things, the most recent update of PUBG Mobile allowed the M249 to actually
Pag daw na chicken dinner ng Blacklist, aamin na kami ni Maps.
Now instead of having the M249 being
Pag na chicken dinner ng Blacklist, aamin na kami.
Now it's a normal weapon. So that is something to
Mga
keep in
batang
mind.
to, kilig na kilig
You
na
could
naman
very
mga batang
easily get
to,
squad wiped if you have an M249 against you.
It was nerfed a little bit as far as I know.
Of course, yes, it had to.
But it's still powerful in its own way. Myth, I believe, have gotten a kill onto one of the reject players who are now down to 2, Divine and Lapis. So that's good by Myth to recognize an opportunity to get a kill. Phase 3, though, shifting down south into the Picado Hills along with San Martin in play. And Valdez's position is absolutely spot on. It's that kind of massive, I suppose, kind of like a Titanic level kind of front row information position that Valdez hold on to. They overlook San Martin. They're able to get an eye on teams that are on the southern side of the circle as well as the north and the west. So Valdez are in the perfect position unless they of course get breached.
We'll see as here we go. That's the fight happening. A1 gonna get marched upon. Tipping on their zombie. Salam had no idea what's about to hit him on the head, and he instantly gets bonked out of the lobby. Fnatic Zombies now have the intel that A1 is in fact in a position right up north of where they are, so they're going to try and go for the long way around, wrap around, avoid the fight. We're talking about avoiding the fight. DRI's trying their best to avoid it, but they just can't. They have to crash inside the compound. Neiman, Math, and Ninja are going to be pinned down in this location. Flying on by. Galzin could be knocked on down. The nade a little bit too short on the throw. Unfortunately, as Galzin able to actually make it over, but they're even getting shot from high above. Zeus has seen this unfold from a distance like, what's happening here? We're just going to take all the kills and snatch it for ourselves.
Of course, opportunity to third party. It's something that Zeus are very open to. And look, I get with DRS. They kind of committed to that more western side of the circle on phase 1, phase 2. But the hill that Zeus holds on to, DRS should have been there. To be honest, from phase 1, that's the hill that I was really looking at DRS going to.
Parang lockdown na sila dito. Papainin ko, wala na makakalabas dyan.
They're paying the price for it. They're not out of the game just yet. They've only lost 1 player, and because Zeus is kind of overlooking for the other side of the hill, Geek Fam are a little bit distracted by Zeus more than DRS, so that allows DRS to at least stay out of sight, out of mind.
We got nice little bolt action coming out actually from down below with the Car 98. Got to be careful. Don't peek your head out too much. Oh, I thought there was going to be a connection for a second onto Ziol, but you'll be able to hold on to it.
Baldos!
We're for our PMGC cards right recently.
Atin yan. Kaya mag-alala, huwag kayo masyadong kabahan. Atin ng game core.
Love the lads.
Also, I have a signature Ably. Just putting that out there.
Oh, true.
I have Ably's signature, and I have Tixie's.
Man of culture, I see. Man of culture.
You know, so I'm their
trade?
number one fans.
We'll have a few trades going out as Digizavia now going to be pushing their way forward. Also, they're looking to enter for the northern edge. Though if the circle goes down south, so many teams are going to be forced to take these fights, especially for example.
Bibigyan ako ni Maps niyan.
So this shift is going to mean a lot.
Bibigyan ako ni Maps
This is
yan.
amazing for Zeus. Hey, entirety of their hill on which they are currently in the position, is currently inside the circle. They don't have to move while they can still keep pressure down on DRS and Geek Fam down below. This is huge for them. That could result in a lot of kills coming their way.
Pinoy para tayo katar mangyari. Oh, support lang. Oh, Pinoy lang. Pagka international, magkakakampi tayo lahat. Isang bandera lang tayo pagka international lagi.
It's going a little bit more towards the south to try and be aware of that. So Zeus, good thinking. Again, don't
Baka hindi nyo talaga trip ang blacklist, pikit na lang muna tayo.
Inside this circle, very interesting. I don't agree with it, to be honest, because we're in phase 4 already. It's that time in the game where you really need to stick as a full squad or 3-1, so you're ready to protect the stranglehold of your position inside the circle. Myth starting to wake up, put on a little bit of makeup, and get a little bit crazy up inside this Miramar map.
Or Divine. He's hoping, but they know this was only a knock, and they're now to go for the flight. They should be aware that there's a chance the player's going to be here. Divine goes for the shot. It came in hand, goes for the bloom shot, but only one bullet is all you need, and that's it for Reject, unfortunately for them. The Japanese team is going to be out of the game in 16 eliminated on this Miramar game, and the only Miramar game of the day, actually, so you need to try and have the impact while you still can. Now, the team's actually moving in, actually not squad-wise. Big this circle is and how little amount of teams actually inside the circle. I was expecting us to be maybe
Blacklist na naman!
13 or 14.
Blacklist na naman!
It's a lot slower than expected.
Blackball! Ayun na, magkakalaban na!
So we still have the high volume of teams, but we are down to 50 players, with 6 being taken out from Valdez. Is an opening for Blacklist International to push up this hill towards this compound, but Yala are somewhat around them. Nasser are as well, despite those two teams being down to a sliver of players. Well, Zeus, they've created a little bit of a gap for possibly Geek Fam and DRS. Breach in onto the edge of the circle, but it realistically makes sense because they have to worry about IA on the other side.
Not gonna lie, this is the first time I'm casting Geek Fam, and I'm already a fan of their rotations. I mentioned the rotation they did early game, last game in Gatka Fields to get the high ground, get the intel, and to facilitate further rotations. It resulted in them taking the game, and now they actually extract themselves away from this fight between DRS, Zeus, and themselves, and now they are controlling the northern side. Not only are they in circle, but they can also snap and grab a few kills onto Zeus or even DRS in the process. It's so simple yet so effective. I'm loving how Geek Fam is playing, and their take on PUBG Mobile is so out there, and I think it's just rewarding them with such consistency that if they can do this all the time, we might see them be first at the end.
Hope that comes to fruition. Till that happens, there's a lot of teams around them that are ready to challenge, contest, push into their limits. For Geek Fam, I would love to see them actually wrap around the side of that building and go to the compound. I feel like that's a little bit of a safe as well as preparing for a potential shift in that direction. I understand if they don't have vehicles, they...
nagbigay ng space yung Baldo sa kanila, oh. Nagbigay ng space, pinapasok yung BL.
I8 are engaging. IC comes in to get a backstab from behind, puts even more pressure on I8, and they lose a player.
Fnatic Zombie is from United Arab Emirates.
Boss. Team 11.
Shots, but seem like it will not go any further.
Nadali ng mga Team 16.
That's going to be the end of their story on this Miramar game, as they're going to have to now leave the other teams around them, move their way forward. Yala Esports also getting picked away. There you go. This is the tipping point. This is the moment where I thought...
1 point pa lang Blacklist, 1 point pa lang.
But now the teams are slowly but surely getting decimated one by one. Fnatic Zombies, NASA, Reject, and Yala Esports will be the first 4 teams to be taken out. Now only 12 shall remain and prevail, but Na'Vi still for a relatively big spread in this circle, just now phase 5. Is this too much? Are they fighting down more than they can shoot?
No. Sorry, never mind that. We've got BTR breaching upon A1. The PMGC battle.
We'll see.
Comes back up. Who's going to come out on top? It seems like BTR are in a much better position because A1 are closer to the high ground, although that's working out.
Nice.
They have Zeus from behind and a lovely grenade puts the end to Jax.
Ito na BTR. Ito mo na BTR dito. Nanggigigil ah. Kailangan ba ng points eh. Ito ng points. Dalawa na yung knockdown eh.
A little bit short, we'll get some tick damage down onto Jax, and now with the M249, he picked it up in the building earlier, and he's ready to mow down the competition. Sinister has nothing to do. He is just a slither of HP remaining, and he is taken down. BTR get vengeance for the PMGC, and has 4 kills coming their way.
Man has the
Blacklist wala pa rin sa zone.
Our
Talaga.
BTR now A1's kryptonite.
Napahirapan sila.
Well, look, for the time being,
Kung anong
that
bonus
has
ng
been
game 1 na.
we switch on over to DS
Apat na
gaming,
sunod na.
being put under so much pressure as Myths. What has happened to them in this 4th game? Doing so much better, but Suporta catching them off.
Yari na papalibutan na.
Expected to actually push out that building. Rio trying to get the intel. Maybe just nade. Do they not have nades? What nades do we need to put on top of Suporta? I think they did go for the molly inside. Yeah, they put the molly inside of it. There you go. He had to jump out. Gonna go for the.
Ay, naka-4x. Ay, nakapag-knockdown pa.
You're just ruining all for Myth. Down to once again a few HP.
Isa lang, oh.
Gonna have to reload.
Suporta lang yan ha.
His nade ready to go. The ZZP from DS Gaming is going for the wraparound. Myth still able to hold on to just a 2 HP, and they do get it done. That's the South Korean team out of the game. Broly holding his line on his line.
Okay, Tyra na lang.
Get his team back.
Clear, knockdown na. Patay na si Alas. Saka si Ians.
Taken down by the teams around them.
Oh, Myth got it.
Ay, si Claire, pwede pa ako may si Claire dyan. Pre-kill yan, Claire. Lumagin ka sa kanan mo. Kaliwa.
Ignoring now Myth and Loundos full
Wala siya pakialam. Basta niya pumapasok na son eh.
Compound CS, Zeus have gone there as well. Geek Fam are there.
Patay si Claire kay Martin. Patay na, si Miss Tyra na.
Kind of gotta take what you can get in terms of hard cover, because the open high ground is not easy to deal with.
I can certainly see also on the minimap on the top right of your screen. No one wants to go dead center. It is not great terrain. Literally nothing to fight from. So they're trying to avoid it like the plague. And the circle actually goes on top of it. There's no avoiding it, apparently, Imperial. You're going to have to go smack that center. I know. Hey, I said I'm the evil caster, right? I love to see. I press the button, boom. Worst circle we could ever ask for goes right there. Zeus have yet to move forward, though.
Tyra, may trill na.
No, unfortunately. That's an amazing shot. Concept going to be like, where did that come from? I have no idea. Zeus still has a 4-man. They need to start thinking of pushing their way forward. If they get a few knocks, that's going to make that shift so much easier for themselves.
The Xavier putting the push onto Navi, just Kitsune left on their own, but he's in amongst BTR, right? So,
I'm a BTR player.
It's not looking good for Navi. Yeah.
BTR, I'm new IGL now.
I'm not yellow. I'm red. You know.
Oh, there you go. Oh no, it's treason. Then he jumps on out. Can he get the double? No, he gets one. Liquid was so low, almost able to pick himself up at 1v2. It's still
BTR 7 kill na.
Performances. Last game was also a really good increase for Na'Vi, but this one did end a little bit shortly for them, and it did not go their way.
Wala na naman sa zone yung Blacklist. Tyra na lang.
But Liquid, he's just surviving so much. He has the highest survival time for BTR, and it goes to show the newest addition is a great addition for BTR.
Oh yes, indeed. Can we really
7 teams, Broly na grenade.
Anymore?
Si Concept na naman.
Gets a beautiful nade onto Broly. Man, Myth, can you stop getting naded, please? Come on, guys. You're better than that. As Valdez continue to put the pressure on towards the other side. Myth once again down to just 1.
They can't see where they're shooting, but they're just keeping the pressure down, and Myth can't do anything about it. They are getting absolutely taken down one by one. There are a lot of teams currently going to be suffering big casualties, and Valdez,
Broly, pinatayan na ni Jewel.
They are currently the most central team.
Eliminated na, Bigetron!
Position other than Hosem 4 Myth. Currently, they get rid of him. They got the tippity top of the
Pampito
mountain
sila.
control, and all the information coming their way.
Tyra, papasok sa posisyon ng Val.
Sorry, 4 top 3s.
Sana makakancel si Tyra, baka bagong mapatay.
The dream is about to become
ayun si Tyra, oh. Ayun na si Concept, nasa harap lang niyo. Pwede niyang parilin yan eh.
I'm 99% sure it's going to be 4 top 3s in a row, but I don't know if they're going to take it.
Walang kaalam-alam si Jewy, oh.
Because look at the spread from the Xavier on the northeast. The top 5 comes
Pag nakakancel si Tyra dito, mababahin chance maka-chicken ng Val.
9 kills, Max. 9 kills for Valdez in this game.
Valdez.
Before this game, they had an average of 7
Okay,
kills.
down the 4 teams, pasok tayo sa top 4.
This is, like we said it right, before.
Oh, pasok si Tyra, oh! Bending bandage!
Look at this, they turned a new leaf. This is consistency at its finest. Zeus trying to push out. The smokes will make it a little bit easier for them, but the blue zone is ticking down heavily, making a heal off even harder.
Piling ko mapasok sa top 3, wala na zone itong mga Zeus eh. Wala sila sa zone eh. Una ma-out yan kay Tyra.
Cannot escape this compound. I think
Una ma-out yan.
Come to terms with the fact that they are not going to go any further in this game.
Uy, kago kang Martin, may nakapasok na.
He doesn't know.
Hindi nakita ni Martin.
Oh no.
Bulag!
That could ruin everything.
Bulag ka!
Put in the Ryzen. Let's go.
And because
Top 3 na sana si Tyre, pinapasok mo pa yung isa.
squad, right? Valdez might be too distracted by Zeus.
Ilan yung points on top 3? 10 points, di ba?
Look at the control for the Xavier.
Wala, mga top 3.
Squad, only 3 kills, but they're looking to seal this game 4.
Xavier and also Valdez.
Ano,
Look how he
open pa
leads
rin
the
yung
game
balo.
after
Ganda ng
last
position
time.
nila. Sila nasa ibabaw eh. Sila nasa ibabaw.
Have a little bit of back and forth. Let's see if Valdez can try and get a little bit of a better score this time around and push it the extra limit. Still going to be one player of Blacklist International right behind them. Gooey inside that minibus, or a party bus you might call it. Maybe trying to use that as a little bit of a protection for his team, create a little bit of a mini wall. I think that would be a
Clutch pa ni
great use of
Tyre yan.
shotgun, especially when you have the high ground. That could make a significant difference in that fight versus Xavier just waiting to happen.
Tangina yung bala.
Xavier.
Ay, kita na si Tyra. Pinuto ko na.
Tira.
Ayan na. Oh, balik siya oh.
Trying to run away back into a dip.
Naku po,
Hopefully not going to be
ispatan na.
mowed
Ay,
down, but that's not
gago,
gonna be fun. There's still
nahuli.
big heads up. Tira
Pumasok
was
pala agad si Tyra.
in this tournament,
Pangapat,
so
pangapat.
congratulations to him. But we'll see now where Valdez can
Pangapat.
go with this one. As got to be
Ilan
careful.
points sa pangapat?
Top of
8
each
points
other.
ba?
One nade, that's a lot of HP instantly gone for them.
That's true. The spread that they had has been somewhat contained.
Ikaw, Bibi, gusto mo sa ibabaw?
Closing in. Abeli is still alive. I have
Depende sa'yo. Depende sa'yo.
Pull off some signature plays.
Out behind the palm tree.
Sayang din yung points.
And now going to go for the Uzi. You know he hit a lot of damage, and Abdi going to go straight back into the blue.
Tangina, round na ng ball to.
There you go. You're not getting that one, Naughty
Valdez.
That's not going to be
3 versus 4. Dito na magkakaalaman.
What we saw in the last 2 games. Hopefully they can continue that launch in game 5 to close off day 1 of the World Invitational. Now Xavier, they saw that kill come on
8
through.
points. Oh, 8 points sa ata pang-apat.
Very aware,
Kasi
this is the last
15,
team, so they
12,
put
10, 8
everything
ata.
that remaining on top of Valdez.
Uy!
There you go.
Parang kakatawa niyo na yan! Huwag niyo bikinagsigin yung mga bullders na yan!
Every single player down, Valdez going to be using another one
Ano
potentially.
kasi top 2 na naman eh.
He gets flashed up. He has no idea.
Oh, bulag na oh! Bulag na, pati spectator, bulag na!
Through the car, exposed, gets an extra.
Martin na lang, tangan si Martin, ayaw magpapatay ni Martin oh! Oh, nasigay pa ni Martin!
He makes it come through, and that is going to be the game
Nasigay
finally.
pa ni Martin yun! Tangin na Martin yun, masasampol ko na talaga yan!
Martin, absolute beast. What was that? Oh
Bulag-bulag yung mga kalaban, gago!
Absolute destruction.
Nakita niyo yan?
The heat stroke.
You try and break it down. I believe what happened was vehicles blew up and the Xavier. I don't want to say throw but basically.
Masasampol ko na talaga yung Martin eh, nung game 1 pa yan eh!
Mark was like, yeah, I'm avoiding all of this. But then when the push came to shove,
Naklash
he
pa!
had to step up. He peeked up, he got the final kill, and he got the chicken dinner for his side. Let's be fair, it was goddamn deserved, man. It was so heavily deserved for Valdez.
I'm going to say it again. I think I'm having a heat stroke, man. It's too hot outside, but these games are even more powerful. I got to tell you that. The temperature is rising to an unsustainable amount right now. I'm loving it. It was great. And